So if Kia can't accept my dreams, I don't know what kind of partner that is, right? She's crushing me, man.
Maybe you can accept her dreams.
What?
You said her dream was for the two of you to own a pet store. Can you accept that? So who's crushing who?
I can't believe Chris thought this was the good dimension.
For that piece of shit, maybe it is.
He ain't a piece of shit.
Jingoistic garbage person with a musical taste of the next door bully from Toy Story.
Listen, Rip. I thought the same thing about his musical taste at first, but you ever listen to Annoy Rocks?
No.
Man, they're pretty incredible. Cruel Intentions, Harcourt Superstar. He turned me on to a lot of beautiful stuff. I just had to open my mind up a little and get past the parts that were cheesy. But that's what Chris is like. You just gotta open your mind up a little and get past the parts that are cheesy. And then you find he's about the sweetest guy there is. And you know, he's my best friend, so I can't just sit here and let you malign him, even though you saved my life.
If he's so awesome, why'd he move to Nazi world?
I didn't say he was smart. I'm sure he didn't even notice. Sad part is, I'm not so sure this Nazi world is as different from our own world as we wish it was.
Damn straight.
Man, if I would have known you was this cool, I never would have tased you.
Quit trying to change the subject from me winning this game by a lot.
Fuck. I suck at Scrabble.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And this is going to be a spoiler-full podcast about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7, which is entitled Like a Keith in the Night.
Very cool. And the synopsis for this one is, as Flag and Argus close in, the 11th Street kids attempt to keep the ever-increasing dangers of the alternate world around them at bay.
Short and sweet. They seem to be very short and sweet with HBO Max, and I love how James Gunn is doing this. It's pretty cool. And I have to apologize to you listeners when I posted everything for feedback. Yeah, I put the 27th. I don't know why. I put the 7th originally, but there was a 2 in front of there. I think I rushed things. Sorry if that's the case. We have a new listener. Sorry, bub. But we're glad you're listening anyway. And please do submit the feedback, because after, come tomorrow night, because we're recording Wednesday. I'm hopefully getting this out by Thursday. I'm going to do a rush edit and get this out to you guys. And then before episode 8 shows up, we will be here.
Yeah. And then the finale will air, and we should be able to record that sooner, hopefully.
Yes. And but it was funny too when I saw that. I was like, oh no, what did I do? So I fixed it, and I fixed it on Facebook. I'm not sure if it fixed it on Instagram, but sorry for that, everybody. But not that we get much feedback, but we do appreciate everybody who does listen. And I do see the tallies, and we do get listeners. Thank you all for listening. So with that, we'll move on. Steve has given the synopsis of the episode that we're covering. So, well, Steve, this has been out with over a week at this point.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I loved it. I want to say this is probably my favorite episode so far this was a great episode. I got some comments from the official podcast about this episode, because I did listen to what they had to say about it. I usually wait till after we record, but what was funny was in the official podcast about this episode, they kept saying the next episode that some of their favorite scenes, some of James Gunn's favorite scene of the season, Adebayo, the woman who plays Adebayo, her favorite scene. They're all in the next episode. So apparently episode 8 is going to be even better than this one. But I really did. Even watching it the second time earlier today, just a little while ago, I was really just impressed by the blend. They did a good blend of the humor with the seriousness of the subject matter,
the drama in it,
and the drama in it, and Cena. I'm a little like his acting has been great.
Oh yeah,
they for me, and I'll get this is kind of in my notes, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. There's something they missed that I think would have been. Maybe it's covered in the next episode. So, but when we get further down in the notes, I'll talk about that because it comes towards the end of the episode. So I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind. Yeah. Well, keep in mind, listeners, spoiler full podcast. So if you've not listened to or watched the episode, please stop now, go back and watch the episode, come back to us. But I have to agree with you. This is probably one of my top 3 so far of this season for Peacemaker. And a lot of it had to do with John Cena's acting.
Yeah.
And with our lovely Harcourt herself. She was amazing. Adebayo, like everybody came full force in this particular episode, I thought. And dramatics and as well as the humor involved. And some of the gags in it really got me, and it made me laugh. But why am I laughing at this when you see so many people being electrocuted in a pool and things like that? You know, it to me, I had a great time watching it, but there were moments of you feel for Chris, you feel for Chris's dad in that dimension. Mm-hmm. Who'd have thought I would be feeling for somebody who was part of the Nazi regime, but at the end we find out he is not. And we said spoiler full, everybody.
Yeah. That's a great go ahead.
Yeah,
that's
we
a
can
great
talk
reveal,
about
though.
that.
Yeah, that's a great reveal to see the oppositeness, and to see the oppositeness of Augie Prime and Augie 2, because in our world, the Augie Prime, the one that Chris killed, it was a Nazi, was a racist, was all those horrible things. And even in Augie 2 even says that when he met him, because he talks about it in the episode that he met his doppelganger at one point, and he could tell there was something wrong with him. He told him something different. And that's what I thought was interesting and David Denman played it really well in his course, because you can see the conflict, the confliction in Keith. In this Keith of wanting to
be part of this world,
support his dad, but at the same time suddenly realizing that his dad is not the racist that he is.
Yes.
And so it makes, we don't get a lot of that, and maybe they might explore it some more in the next episode. Maybe if we get it, I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see how they wrap this season up. With Keith living, I absolutely love that scene at the end when Harcourt asks Vigilante 2 for the gun, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And she says, and I love the quote, and they even mentioned on the official podcast the quote from Harcourt where she says, "Sorry, I can't have you coming after him." She doesn't say us. She says him, meaning Chris, and we really get and this really we'll go right into the episode. The beginning of the episode, the cold open, really starts us seeing, I love, there was no hesitation. Once Chris realized what world he was living in and realized that the Harcourt 2, that is the softer side of Harcourt, or however you want to say it, is definitely part of this world. He chose Harcourt Prime right at the beginning. They didn't make us wait. Like I was, most shows would drag out him and hawing and trying to make the decision about which Harcourt to go with. The struggle, but he very plainly just said, "I think we should break up," and because of what I'm about to do, and then he attacks the security. I just loved it, and
the escape was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And sad at the same time, and then the emotion of the driving with the motorcycle as they're being chased by the police.
Absolutely.
And
but
Harcourt
right before
holding him. Oh my God.
And leaning on but right before that, what I don't want us to miss mentioning is the Harcourt 2. She can't fight. She's not a fighter. You see this brief clip of her like falling to the ground and like crawling into the fetal position before they escape. And I absolutely loved it's totally when you see them on the motorcycle and the police are chasing them and she just lays her head on his shoulder and closes her eyes. Yeah. It's just it was the emotion of that.
It was elating. It was like something expected that we wanted, that we weren't sure if we were going to get. And then we got it. And it's like, oh, thank God she came to that feeling and accepting and embracing. And it's like, yes. Yeah, he kind of can be a doof. And this also caveats to my conversation about Judo Master and ads and their encounter after Judo Master saves ads from all these people coming after her because she's black. And stopping them. And it's like he saves her, which was pretty cool.
That's such a hilarious exchange. That's one of the funny moments, like you said. It's kind of the black comedy, the dark comedy of it. In that when he says, "Oh, that's the most people I've ever electrocuted in a pool with telephone wire." With telephone wire, and she goes, "How many people have you electrocuted in a pool with telephone wire before?" And he goes, 4. And so, like, just the thought of that Judo Master is this assassin who has had this scenario happen. Well, I don't know exactly, probably not the same scenario, obviously, but that he had to electrocute people in a swim. But it's kind of cool too, also to realize that it makes sense that way. He knew that it would work. That's how he, I mean,
he's creative.
But it was hilarious. And the second their scenes together, their bonding scenes together in the house when they're playing
the conversations that they had. How Ed's talks about Chris, his talk about Peacemaker, how he calls him Peacemaker, which is so funny.
Yeah.
And his description of Chris is so funny. And I have the quote about it. He goes, jingoistic garbage person with a musical taste of the next door boy from Toy Story.
Thank you. I didn't write that one down, but I love in that scene where she calls Chris her best friend.
Yeah.
She says, he's my best friend. And I can't have you maligning him. I can't have you malign him like that. I thought it was a really great use of the word malign. You don't hear that very often. So,
yeah. And they actually talk about, they have this conversation over a game of Scrabble because it's not Scrabble in that world. Yeah. And I didn't take down any nuances, everybody. I should have, based upon the Boggle stuff, because Judo Master did put some specifics that I didn't write down in his Scrabble.
Oh, I didn't notice it. All I saw was her she did play the word blues at one point.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was great. And the other part of that scene that's really, really cool is when she says, when they're talking about the fact that Chris said this was his ideal world and Judo Master is still kind of pooping on him. And she explains, she says, Chris, it's cool because Adebayo, she recognizes Chris's flaws. And she doesn't excuse them, but she says something to the extent, she says, he probably didn't even notice that this world was
exactly.
Nazi world. And that's what we get. No, he didn't. That's what we get at the beginning of the show when Harcourt is pointing out all the things in the room. She said every desk has a copy of Mein Kampf on it. He goes, I don't read books. And then there's this huge mural of Hitler on the wall, and he's, oh, how did I miss that? Just things like all these things that she noticed that he didn't notice. I thought it's hilarious. Cool. Yeah, it was great. And I didn't notice it the first time I watched it. It wasn't until the second time that I realized Adebayo said that she's like, he probably didn't even realize what this world was. But again, I go back to what I said at the beginning. I like that as soon as he realizes what this world is, he realizes it's not for him. Yeah. It's not he belongs. So
and it's not what he wants, but he wanted family. What he states at the very end, and the best is the way she describes of how you get past all the cheesiness of how Chris really cares for people, and that's why she, he's her best friend, and she talks about how he influenced her into listening to Hannah Rocks and all that stuff, and showing a presence of Chris that Judo Master didn't even know this guy from a hole in a wall. It's just another mission for him.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, it's like a friend telling somebody else, hey, this is my friend for this reason. This is why I love this person.
Yeah.
This is why they're in my life.
I really thought it was cool.
You could overlook all that stuff.
I thought it was cool, Judo Master making her realize that it wasn't her, that she needs to recognize that her partner was putting her dreams on hold to be with her. And so does she need to consider putting her dream on hold to be with her partner? What, where's the line? So again, these are all things that I don't know if they're going to explore them in the next episode. If we're going to have another season, they're going to explore them. I hope that we get another season.
I think they already greenlit a third season. But the funny thing is that with Judo Master and her having this conversation and getting along and getting to know you, even though obviously we said spoilers, but at the very end we do see Judo Master taking sides with Argus.
I know, but this is interesting too, because he was on the podcast for this episode with the original, the official podcast, and they mentioned the fact they don't spoil anything, and so I don't even know, and they don't spoil what, but they make a side comment about how he's more useful to them if Argus doesn't know that he is kind of on their side, because when you realize Flag asked him to back up Chris's story about they all went just to get Chris back to have him bring back the thing, right? The tech,
the helmet,
the tech. Yeah. And Rip says, that's that's the way it happened. So he could have outed all of them as being, no, they went there to rescue. They just went there to rescue him. It had nothing to do with the tech, So it's, again, this is going to be something they're definitely going to explore it in the next episode. I'm sure that we're going to see whether Judo Master has actually gone back to Argus, whether he's going to kind of be a double agent or what. But
I would love to see that next season.
I would. I think that's great. I loved, again, Freddie Stormer as vigilantes. Just killed it. Absolutely did another great job
acting with himself.
Just so good. What else? There's so much stuff. The tech guy, we get the tech guy from Superman comes in. Lex Luthor's tech guy comes in, and he gets the tag at the end. It's the gross tag at the end about he's going to get back on Pornhub, and even though the guard is watching him, and
I didn't see that part. Holy crap!
Oh, it's it's at the end of the credits. You gotta stay for all the credits at the very end.
I'm a Marvel
talks about
fan, and I should know that.
He talks about how he's gonna get back on Pornhub while he's there, and the guard is watching him, and he's just like, "You better turn your back, man, because it's gonna be anyway. Watch it. Fast forward to the end and watch it. No, he doesn't yet, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
But he does state something that's interesting. They track down the cabin they had that way. The open portal is it's not wobbly like the other. It's intact and won't collapse compared to what Lex had done when we saw, and spoilers for you with the Superman 2025 film. That one was wobbly, and that's why it collapsed. Whereas this one is more structured.
Yeah, so I wonder if that tech, we're going to see what happens now that Argus has a hold of this tech. Is this guy going to be involved in trying to reverse engineer it, and so they can actually? So we're definitely going to have an opportunity here to get back for obviously for Keith to enact his revenge, since Harcourt was not able to end his life there at the end. The return of Fitzgibbons. We have Fitzgibbons come back at the end was cool, and one of the few cops that they could bring back. Obviously, in this world, they couldn't bring back any of the black cops or the Asian cop back. He's the only one they could really bring in because he's the white man. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, just the little bits of humor put in there, like Vigilante and Judo Master not caring about killing the cops and talking about that and how bad the cops are in the world, the Nazi world, and all that was just hilarious. Like I said, the little bits of humor they blended really, really well in this episode, I felt.
Yeah, they blended a lot. There was one thing that really made me laugh and have fun. And you have Robert Patrick saying to both Chris and Harcourt, well, with Keith in suit as their, what is it, the Blue Demon?
Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon. All right.
I got it here. I loved it. It was, I think I know where you're headed. I loved this line. It was absolutely probably my favorite line of the episode is, and where's it at in my notes? Cause I want to read it.
Come with us if you want to live.
Yeah. He says, but he doesn't say it like that. Where's it at in my notes? I've got it here. Hold on.
Do it.
Hold on. I've got it. Oh, it's down in my quote section. That's why I didn't have it here. If the two of you want to live, you come with us now, is how he.
That's why he phrases it. Okay.
Yeah, he says, if the two of you want to live, you come with us now. I've got the two of you want to live, you come with us now. So it's a little twist on the Terminator line, but it's definitely a callback
right out of it
to right out of the come with me if you want to live, because it's used. I mean, it's used in every Terminator movie. It's even used in the TV show. If you ever watched the Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, when Summer Glau's character meets John Connor in that world for the first time, she says the same thing to him. She says, come with me if you want to live, in that TV show, the first season of that TV show. So it's so cool that they brought that through. It had to be. There's no way the writers weren't referencing Terminator with that line, especially with it being Robert Patrick saying
exactly
he was the evil Terminator. He was the evil Terminator. He wouldn't have said that.
He wouldn't.
So I'm sure it was a kick for him to get to say it as well. But
he has done it before in other shows.
Yes,
I did a rewatch, and for those of you who are fans like myself, I love the TV show Scorpion. And if a lot of you are not familiar, I do a couple of binges. I'll buy them when they're on discount. It's for $50 for all 4 seasons of Scorpion on iTunes.
I just rewatched that recently too. It was so
it's
good.
Amazing.
It's such an underrated show, man. 4 seasons. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it should have gone to a 5th. Should have gone to a 5th.
Yeah. Well, there were other things involved. But I really do enjoy Robert Patrick. He was in that. He was also in True Blood at one point. He played one of the who was it? Who was the werewolf in that movie?
I never saw it. Yeah. I never saw True Blood. Yeah, I never saw True Blood. So
so if you keep in later seasons of it, he does play his father as well. So he comes up in so many shows, but I do love him as Cabe Gallo in Scorpion. So if you guys are looking for something to binge watch and you have the money, I did that for myself. That was like a little bit part of my birthday present to myself, to get those seasons so I could buy them so I could binge watch it. And I was like,
if you have is it Paramount? Is it CBS or was it NBC?
I forget.
Which it's one of the streaming services that I have that's what I watched it on. Either Peacock.
Okay.
It's either Peacock or Paramount. I can't remember right now which one has Scorpion, but that's how I watched it. I didn't buy it separately. I watched it on one of the streaming services. So there's a streaming service out there that's got it. It's either Paramount Plus or Peacock. I can't remember now. I don't think it's Hulu. So,
and to talk a little bit more about Robert Patrick, which is so funny, his brother is part of the rock group Filter. His brother, I'm forgetting, is Richard Patrick, and he's the lead singer for the band Filter, if you remember that from the 90s. They are
No.
doing another album. Hey Man, Nice Shot,
Oh,
Photograph.
okay.
Yeah,
I recognize the songs. Sure, I don't.
yeah.
Wouldn't have recognized the band. You're the
Yeah,
music guy, so
yeah. He was a very proponent person, Robert Patrick, for his brother, his brother, and for Richard back in the day. I remember it, but he started doing this again on Instagram. Hey,
okay.
check out my brother's stuff, and it's within coordination. So if you follow Robert Patrick on Instagram, you'll see all this stuff, and it's so great. He posts a lot of stuff on as him as the Blue Dragon for
Oh, does he?
Peacemaker.
I'll have to check. That out.
You got to.
Nice.
He just posted something a little earlier, and I thought it was great. It's him in the costume. So
Nice.
that Robert Patrick loves the character and he wants to come back. I would not be surprised if they go to another dimension.
Sure, I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised. And just back on Robert Patrick, that his monologue at the end.
Oh my God,
is so amazing. And the sweat. It's so cool. It's another one of those humorous moments. It's one of those dramatic moments followed by a humorous moment in that you have the music is swelling
and it goes to tragedy.
And he's making all this stuff about how, oh, do you fight for every injustice that you have in your world? I do what I can. I do what I can to help out. And then Vigilante, and the music is swelling, and then Vigilante crashes through the window and just kills.
Starts stabbing him and killing him.
Stabbing him, and just killing him because.
And then he starts doing that to Keith, and that's really what upset Chris when they get into the other world.
Yeah.
And then we got flashbacks of season 1
of him removing his brother, when
and him killing his brother, and it's like, and him like that, and this is something that is attributed to really good acting. My brother does not really care for John Cena as an actor, but I really do at this point.
He's so good.
He's really good.
Yeah,
that emotion that came out showed true.
And this is feeling. And this is my only problem with it. And I'm torn because it's so good. You can see how torn he is, but you also it's tragic. To me, it's tragic because what he doesn't really, because the line I have, and it's in my quotes, where he says, I wanted to feel what it felt like to have a family.
Yep.
Is what Chris says when his dad asks him, why did you come, when Augie 2 asks him, why did you come back here? Which technically he didn't lie to Fitzgibbons when he said, my son is not here.
No, he didn't.
Technically, he didn't lie. But he says, I wanted to feel what it felt like to have a family. And what Chris doesn't realize, and this is what I'm hoping we might see in the next episode, is for him to realize he has a family in the Prime world. That
he does. He just doesn't get it.
He just doesn't get it. Vigilante, they're his family. They're his non-blood family. And so it really broke my heart. It broke my heart even more the second time when I heard him say it, because he just doesn't realize that he has family.
He has the family that he never. He's thinking more of true blood family, and in a sense, in this case, he has family as friends, and that really is represented within that party moment on.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rooftop.
The picture that they all have, that they all cherish. All those things, all those are things that I'm, this is my projecting. I obviously have not seen the next episode yet because it hasn't dropped yet, and we don't have screeners. But I'm hoping the next episode they deal with this fact that I want him to realize that he is surrounded by family, that he has a family there. And of course we've seen I keep referring back to the official podcast because they said we have seen the villain origin of Keith Smith.
Oh,
we've seen the villain origin. So we're going to get to see how, if he's going to come to this world and what's going to happen. So I'm excited for the next episode. A lot more. Let's see what else. It's a small thing, but it's one of those moments that I didn't notice it in the first watch, but the second watch I definitely saw it. Was Harcourt when they're taking Chris away after he admits, he says they didn't have anything to do with it. They all came to bring me back so that I would relinquish the helmet, the device.
Yeah.
And when the police start to take him away, Vigilante starts to draw his gun, and Harcourt stops him. She puts her hand on his to stop him from attacking. And I think it's a little thing, but that's a small thing to show us that they're going to do something to get Chris. But she realizes that at that moment they didn't have the numbers, they didn't have the ability or anything at that moment. It's a small thing. It's real quick. If you blink, you'll miss it. But she puts her hand and she stops him from drawing his weapon to leave. They did leave.
Well, the Adrian of that world didn't draw, but
Adrian. Stop. Okay, what I'm talking about is Adrian 2 stayed in Nazi world,
but he also kicked the door.
He kicked the door. He throws Amelia through there and kicks the door closed. But no, our Adrian Prime went through.
Yes,
Adrian Prime
he was ready
there
to shoot. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. He was ready. He was ready to draw his gun when they arrest Chris. This is in our world, in the Prime, not our world.
Yes,
the Prime, in the Prime world. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is he was ready to attack, and Harcourt stopped him.
Yeah,
okay?
he did.
So
yeah, she did.
But no, yeah, that moment at the end when she's going to try to shoot Keith, and then the police break in, and Adrian realizes that it's one of those moments where Vigilante 2 probably should have let her shoot Keith and then thrown her through the door, but I'm not going to quibble over that because we need to have Keith.
I have a funny feeling that's going to come into play next episode.
Well, I was just saying we got to have Keith too for the finale. I'm sure we've got to have him for the finale or for the next season, depending on how the next episod goes.
That is true.
I don't know. But I like I said, I definitely saw that in the second watch that that she stopped him from attacking the cops there in the Prime, the DCEU, whatever it is, DCU or whatever they're calling it now. I'm DCU. I get confused. Yeah. So yeah, I just love that. Let's see. I love that again. I go back to John Cena's acting, that his face is great, but that line, he wasn't a Nazi, he keeps repeating it. He wasn't a Nazi. He wasn't a Nazi.
No,
realizing that this father, the father in this universe, wasn't a Nazi, even though the father in his universe, his Prime was a Nazi. So it's kind of but yeah, no, I keep going, but he just, and that his face, just, you can just see when he's sacrificing himself for his friends. And he realizes it, it's so I'm really,
the fact that he feels he's no good to anybody because everything always erupts in death.
Yeah,
and that's
he
really
says
what I feel about Chris, and it makes me feel for him because everything that he's touched, everything dies. Everybody I've loved, I've hurt, or I've killed. Yeah, he killed his father once in his real world. He already killed his brother once in the real world.
And then he killed himself. The quantum. Yeah. So we have this, again, it's just, he's so good when he says that, because he's like, it's not my world that's messed up. It's not your world that's messed up. It's me that's messed up. And I wish they had shown us Harcourt's face when he said that, because I would love to see what their reaction was to him saying those things. But so again, it's just John Cena just did such a good job, and it's unfortunate that the type of show this is probably never going to be recognized by any award shows that matter. But he should. He definitely deserves some sort of nomination at very least, or at least, because it's really, really a good.
It really, honestly, what it does is it launched the DCU as now with James Gunn at its helm, because they redefined everything, because they changed everything and from what Zack Snyder had done. And we already got the new Superman film. Peacemaker was the first, but they wound up retconning everything from season 1 at the very end.
Yeah.
And then now we have season 2. Now we're looking more for other things. I do have something that's interesting from James Gunn. He says in an interview, and has once addressed whether or not the 2020 film Suicide Squad is now fully canon to the new DCU, since so much of Peacemaker season 2 revolves around the ramifications of the killing of Rick Flag Jr. So only Creature Commandos Forward is pure canon, according to Gunn. Peacemaker is almost entirely consistent with that canon, other than the Justice League. The Suicide Squad has a lot of consistency, but I think of it as an imperfect memory.
Okay.
So he continues on saying, people are always asking me about stuff from the Suicide Squad and from Suicide Squad, and the Suicide Squad is a difficult thing because it is not DCU, but there aren't too many things in it that are not DCU. He goes, unlike Peacemaker season 1, which is completely DCU, so Peacemaker 1 is completely DCU, besides the ending and one or two mentions of different things, the Suicide Squad brings up more. So that's a direct quote. And questions and answers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the difference is I think that Kevin Feige wants everything to fit together like a puzzle perfectly into the MCU,
intertwined, yes,
and wants it all to fit. James Gunn is kind of more loose with it, going, well, if it doesn't fit, then we'll just retcon it. What it seems to me is that he's a lot more looser with the idea of canon of, I'm not going to hold myself to something I wrote 7 years ago or whatever, 5 years ago,
exactly,
for today. He's willing to change, he's willing to update and change and retcon things if he has to, just like he did with the Justice League to the Justice Gang. Here in season 2, he's willing to do that, and he's not going to apologize for it. So I like it. I honestly like both sides. I like a creator who's going to stick to his guns and say, well, if this is canon, we're going to make it all work. But I also kind of like the guy who's willing to be a little more looser and more fluid with it too. So I like both. I think it's good.
I actually spoke to somebody I know. He was an executive producer for what was it? Oh my God, Brightburn.
Right. Yeah.
And he had mentioned to me things that were put in the script that didn't get passed, that were really upsetting to me. Huh. We haven't talked this about in a long time. We covered this when it came out, and he had mentioned at that time, because this was like a dark Superman, red sun ish. Remember the kid in the movie was really enamored with the aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was like some sort of ploy, and I guess it got written out. The studio and James Gunn at one point decided that they decided not to do it because the writer had put it in that he was going to try to procreate with the aunt. It's like, it was so weird, and it even got darker towards the end. He goes, they changed a lot of things. So I think it had to do with James Gunn at the time, because if you guys have not watched Brightburn, I suggest you do. The theatrical version, in my opinion, is great. And I actually spoke to Nick himself, who is the executive producer, and said, I would love to have seen a sequel. And that's the whole thing, because they were setting us for a dark Justice League, like a dark one. But it would have been interesting to see a dark Aquaman, a dark Wonder Woman, and maybe dark Superman. And what would Batman be? Batman always floats more for darkness. He would have probably been more flamboyant, I think. But
I don't know. But sadly, we won't. We probably
won't.
Get one.
But I thought it was interesting, because the way James Gunn is approaching this, as Disney is always trying to stay on course, he's willing to go change it a little bit for DC, which I think is very interesting. I find it very interesting, and we haven't covered it, everybody, but we have discussed Creature Commandos, and I did enjoy the whole first season. If you haven't watched it, go to HBO Max and check it out, or Is it just HBO or Max? I don't know, but check it out. Have fun with it.
The only thing I have left is I have one quote that I haven't shared. I think everything else I have mentioned. We talked about Keith 2.
Yeah.
And Augie Prime, Robert Patrick's monologue, The Return of Fitzgibbons, The Tech Guy, Judo Master, and Autobio. We talked about all that. Yeah, I think that's everything. I have one quote left that we haven't done yet that I thought was pretty funny.
The only quotable things that I have are really stupid stuff, but go ahead.
The only thing I have left is when the vigilantes are talking about the world and what the world is like.
Oh, Nazis.
Vigilante Prime says, "I came here with a person who's technically black," and Vigilante 2 says, "Technically, like you can't tell." And he's like, "Oh no, you can totally tell. It was the first thing I knew about her." So it was just like I came here with a person. Yeah, we gotta help her. But I just thought that was she's technically black. He's like, technically, like you can't tell. It's like,
well, Keith knew right away.
Yeah.
I have one from Keith saying, and it's talking to Augie from that world saying, and it's talking about Harcourt. He goes, "She was wearing pants."
Yeah.
I've known that girl for 10 years. I've never seen her wear pants. There was something off about her the whole time. She never heard of Halloween. And Chris is that, it's Augie's like, that ain't possible.
Yeah.
And I just love the idea of this whole Halloween thing. And I'm like, seriously? Yeah. By the way, everybody, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1. Fun. Listen to Halloween by Halloween on Halloween. It's great. It's a 12-minute opus.
If you say so.
It is.
I'm gonna let that be. I'm gonna let you be that. I'm gonna let that be your recommendation, man. I'm not the music guy.
I know. Oh yeah, I love Judo Master saying Cheetos with an H on the end are not that good as well. Yeah. That's all I got as far as like quotes or anything of that nature.
Very cool.
I don't have anything. Everything else you topped on, and we just kind of like
I think
had a conversation about. The only thing I have left are our needle drops for Peacemaker season 2, episode 7. Still Pretending by First Signal. So this song plays as Peacemaker escapes Argus on Earth X with Harcourt. And then we get We Can Never Die by Veins of Jenna. And this is when the 11th Street kids escape Earth X while this tune plays, up until they're confronted by Argus back in the DCU. And then lastly, we get Gore-Tex Weather Report by Shining. And those are the end credit songs as the gang is arrested by Argus. Peacemaker is arrested.
I had to edit that because the gang's not arrested. Peacemaker's the only one that's arrested. I don't know who wrote these. I don't know who wrote these needle drops, but that's not technically accurate. Peacemaker's the only one that we see anyway. Peacemaker's the only one we see get arrested there.
Okay,
and get taken away. So
thank you for correcting my needle drops.
I mean, it's
true. You are true. You were right. Yeah,
you can say confronted by Argus instead of arrested, but they don't all get arrested. Peacemaker's the only one who's arrested.
I have a funny feeling, Chris will be taken in by Argus, and then they're going to try to battle to get him out. And
eventually, I think it's not going to happen right away. I think they're going to regroup and make a plan. I think that's the whole reason why, like I said, why Harcourt stopped Vigilante from doing something right then. I think she realized that at that point they were surrounded, they were outnumbered, and they needed to regroup and make a plan. And that's why we see Chris, dejectedly being taken off in the police car. We see Flag take the tech device away. And so next episode, I'm really excited. I want to see this episode. And I'm not going to see it till I'm not going to see it till tomorrow sometime, or maybe even Friday morning. So, but yeah, so.
We'll see it sooner or later. And yes,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody will be covering it. You'll have time. And no, I will not put the wrong date the next time I post something for feedback. And for our new listeners, please do send in some feedback. It'd be greatly appreciated. We do love it. I love the fact that somebody was like, hey, I just found your podcast and I love what you guys talk about. I'm like, gee,
Nice.
thanks.
I like
Awesome.
it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So with that, that is our coverage for Peacemaker season 2, episode 7, Life Like a Keith in the Night. So Steve, do you have any podcast recommendations that you could think of? I know we have several based upon our friends and things,
Yeah,
but
I the only thing I was thinking I was going to put on there that I want to promote a little bit is on again it's a Podcastica podcast, but it's a new
it's
one
fine.
that they started a new feed called Baketastica. It is coverage of the Great British Bake Off. So if you like the Great British Bake Off show on Netflix or however you watch it, please check out Baketastica because those guys they talk about they drop it they talk about every recipe, they talk about all the British isms that are used. It's so funny sometimes, and I love the positivity of that show,
Yeah.
Great British Bake Off, and the positivity of the podcast itself, that is really really good. This is a show, and I'll promote the show as well, the Great British Bake Off. It's a show. It's really one of those competition shows where they compete with each other, but you don't see them. They help each other out. They all,
Yeah.
at the end, when the person who gets voted or gets told to leave at the end, they always are hugging, and at the finale episodes, they always show us how these people have become friends outside of the show and still meet together and do things together. So I would push check out Baketastica, podcast about the Great British Bake Off.
Awesome. The only thing I could think of is, well, I have to recommend it. It's on the network. What's on Tonight podcast?
Yeah.
With Becky and Mandy, and they are thrilled to be interviewing Taj Spates, who played Jake on The Pit. And they're doing that tomorrow evening, which is October 9th, everybody. So if you're not going to get this at that time, but you could actually tune into it and listen to it.
Yeah, check it out.
And check it out. If you're not a fan of the TV show The Pit that is on HBO or HBO Max, check it out. It's got a great cast. It's kind of like ER on the edge of your pants over 24 hours. Literally, it's almost every hour by hour. It's like the TV show 24 in a hospital.
Very cool.
And
Okay.
Noah Wiley's in it, and a whole cast of crew of people, and they're very talented, very good. So check it out. Check them out. Other than that, well, it's not a podcast, but always go to Robert Patrick on Facebook, because I'm looking at him now doing dance moves on Facebook as we're talking about this, because I just love to see Robert Patrick, and that guy just gives it all and has fun. Anyhow, other than that, anything that you could find on Podcastica, we have Run for Your Lives. Paik and Daphne are doing a lot of work right there, so check them out. They're coming up on another anniversary. Then you have Still Slaying, a Buffyverse podcast that with Penny and Kara. So check them out as well.
It's podcast recommendation, not. Sorry, no,
it's podcast recommendations, not podcast recommendations. Okay,
no, I'm just kidding. No, I would like everybody go check out podcastica.com. All the podcasts on there are great. Check out Pirate Core Entertainment as well. All the podcasts on there are great too.
PirateCoreEntertainment.com, everybody. Just go there. You'll see all our links. We're gearing up for a lot of stuff at the end of the month for Halloween. So the last 2 weeks, you're going to see a lot of stuff. We're going to do Toxic Avenger. There's a whole bunch of things go with the Telemasca, everything else that's going on there for Adrenaline Cinema podcast as well. So check us out there, piratecoreentertainment.com. Links are in the below in the showcast notes. All right. So with that, where can listeners hear us, Steve?
Well, I can be heard right here on Panels to Pixels podcast, and I send voicemails to other podcasts that we listen to. Some of the ones that have been recommended.
Yep, there you go. And I could be here as well, heard here as well on Panels to Pixels podcast as always. We will be finalizing everything with Sandman Cast. I have a few edits I have to do because I screwed up at one point, and that will be both broadcasted here on Panels to Pixels podcast as well as on House Podcastica on the Podcastica network. You can hear me on Adrenaline Cinema podcast as always. Like I said, there's a lot more stuff coming out. And then obviously on the Piratecore Entertainment Network podcast, you will find stuff for the Piratecore Music podcast, as well as What's On Tonight and Dinner for Her. And all you have to do is go to the piratecoreentertainment.com website to find those links, because it's fully operational, I tell you.
Yay.
All right. So we can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice that you have. Ratings and reviews are always there. Please give a rating or review. 5 stars are always welcome. Please leave some notes. That would be greatly appreciated. We do get feedback on Spotify as well as on YouTube. So we also could be found on YouTube. All you have to do is search for Panels to Pixels podcast on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe, ring the bell, and then just say what you liked about the show in the comments. We will get them. We could be found on the piratecoreentertainment.com website, which is found below. If you feel the need, you could actually email us, panelstopixels1@gmail.com. Panels, 2 is spelled out T-O, pixels, and the number 1@gmail.com. Just write out your thoughts. We'll read them. Or if you want, you could record yourself and send it as an attachment, and it's as if you're on, the podcast as well. So next week we'll be covering Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 8, titled, I don't know. I didn't even look it up. Sorry, everybody. But with that, I just want to thank everyone for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And for you panelists, same podcast, different panel, different pixel. And this is Panels to Pixels podcast. And we'll see you on the next panel. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.